Hello everyone, my name is Matt Morris. I am a student here at Florida State University. I am going to be talking to you guys a little bit about athletic training and how players are affected by fatigue and overwork in sports. So the first thing I want to talk about is what is the difference between, there are two types of fatigue. There's central fatigue, which affects the brain and spinal cord. That's the mental fatigue that everyone feels when you're just tired and you don't want to do anymore. And then there's the peripheral fatigue, which is the actual lack of ATP in the muscles where you can't do anything. So like if you're trying to do bench and you can't lift the bar up, that'll be peripheral fatigue. So I want to talk a little bit about athletic trainers. So in college, there are a lot more athletic trainers because the college actually pays the athletic trainers a lot more. In high schools, there's supposed to be at least one per high school, and some don't even have athletic trainers, which is kind of sad. But basically their job entails that they are supposed to be on the fields during games, and in case of an emergency, if someone collapses, somebody has some sort of injury, the athletic trainers are there to help them out. And that's during the game, but even after the games, they're there for support for the athletes, to talk to them, be their friend, emotional support as well. So I'm going to offer some recommendations for recommendations. So first off, all schools should have an athletic trainer. Like I said a few seconds ago, that some don't. It should be required that every school has athletic trainers. They need to make sure all the equipment that they use are up to date, make sure they've been tested professionally, and yeah, those are two recommendations I have. So parents and coaches are probably the most important people for athletes to avoid fatigue and overwork. And you might be asking, like, well, what do parents and coaches have? Well, they're the closest people to the athletes, that have the most influence on what they do. So that's very important. So the three I have, my last main point for this would be, there's three different what am I trying to say here? All right, so the first things to help with fatigue. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. My own handwriting. Right, so there are three different ways the athlete can individually make a difference on whether or not they become fatigued or overworked. The first one would be engaging in stretching, some sort of stretching before and after a workout, before and after a game, during the game sometimes if you're really feeling tight. So there are 4 different types of stretching. There's dynamic, passive, active, and static. And the most common type of stretching would be the static and passive, because those are the ones done before games, where you see like a group of athletes in a circle, stretching their hamstrings, I think for the count of 8 or whatever. That's most important. So the second thing would be diet. Make sure like you're getting the right amount of minerals, making sure you're getting the right amount of protein, all the sort like carbohydrates and stuff for the energy you need for the day, for practice, for all the games, weightlifting, all that. You need to make sure you have the right diet. And athletic trainers, and the third and last point to avoid overwork and fatigue would be to make sure that you talk to your athletic trainer and use them as a resource so that you don't become overworked and fatigued. I'm repeating myself. All right, so thank you. I hope you found this video informational, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.